Hello, I am Tinne from Victoria Designs, and I think we can all agree it is time to start making those Halloween crafts. And to get in the mood, I have another kit for you, the Bewitched Forest kit. This kit shows exactly what you would encounter walking into those creepy woods. I made a tutorial with these printables to create a mini pocket album, and it holds small notebooks. All my measurements will appear on the screen, but if you would like a handy PDF to print out, you can opt in via the link in the description to get it. Of course, if you're not into Halloween, you can make this project with completely different printables. We have many kits in our shop. But if you are into Halloween, you can use this kit to make many other crafts as well. So if you would like to make this project or any other craft project with our creepy Bewitched Forest kit, you can discover it in my Etsy shop, the link is below. And now let's start crafting. Enjoy! Okay, first I printed out some sheets from the kit, and here I have some of the embellishments, but for this tutorial I'm not going to use them. I'm just going to show you how to make the booklet, and then you can decorate it and add to it as much as you like. And then for the actual journal part of this album, I printed out the smallest journal pages, so they are 2 on 1 page. If you don't have the kit, make sure you have some journal pages that are 6.5 inch by 5 in height, and then later on we will fold them in half. Now, 2 I printed a bit on sturdier paper. This is 160 grams paper. And I printed the neutral page on the back. These are going to act as little covers. And the other ones I printed back to back like this. Now, a tip that I always give is when you print something back to back, print one side 1.5, 2% larger than the other side. If you then cut out the smallest side, you won't have a white edge. Now, I did just that, and I printed them all back to back. Now, the usual tips that I give, if your fronts and backs are not completely centered and you have some white on the edge, just ink the edges. And if your printer really prints off center and you're bothered by that, just print a neutral paper from the kit on the back, not a big bluish one. I would say something very neutral, or an old paper that you download from the internet somewhere. Just print that one on the back instead. So I have these for my little booklets. So I am going to make 4 booklets, so I have 4 covers for these, and then I also have 10 pages with 2 on each, printed double-sided, so I can divide them amongst those 4. So I have in total 20 little journal pages. Okay, I have here some of the journal pages larger because they're so tiny for the tiny booklet that I just wanted to show you how pretty they are, how detailed they are. You know, it's all there. Look at that. See? Look how beautiful that is. See how much work we put in making the details really beautiful. We put a lot of attention on putting a lot of detail in our designs. Okay, so I'm not gonna use those, I just want to show these to you. And then I have a bunch of papers printed from the kit here to use as panels for my little booklets. You know, there are some horizontal ones as well. I just printed a few. I printed way too much out. I just wanted to show you what's possible. Okay, so I have these put aside for a bit for later. And let's start with the base. I am using 300 grams paper. I have here a bunch of black cardstock. I chose black because it fit the colors of the theme very well, but you can definitely choose another color if you like. And if you're using another kit to make this, adjust the color of your cardstock to that. The cardstock that I'm using is actually aquarelle paper, but I bought it because it was 300 grams paper and it works great for this. But you can definitely get away with 200 grams paper as well. You can try it, maybe 160 as well, just a heavy-ish cardstock that you have laying around. And yeah, you see here I have a bunch of things already cut out, and I'm going to show you all the measurements that you need on the screen when it comes to that. But if you would rather have a printable with all the measurements nicely in a row, you can opt in via the link in the description and get that PDF. And I'm going to start with 4 equal pieces. And these will become the pockets, the 4 pages of the album that will hold the mini journals. I'm just going to show you how to make one, and the other 3 are exactly the same. So make sure you have the longest side, the 7-inch side on top, and just score in half at 3.5. Then just turn around and score 1/2 inch on each side. So, like this. You have now, I hope you can see it in the light here, you have now these 4 little tabs on the side. And we're going to cut off one right here. And actually, I'm gonna cut off slanted like this. See? So that this tab, we will keep this tab, but it will be a little bit slanted. So you won't notice it constantly. It won't be in the way. And then I'm going to corner off this as well. So from here until, I'm gonna do a bit more, until that folding line. And I'm going to do the exact same on the other side as well. So I'm going to cut off this whole piece. So here. And yeah, I can cut it off like this, but I can already cut this slanted as well. And this corner as well. So this is what you end up with. And this is enough to make a pocket. And then I'm going to fold this. It's always handy to have a bone folder. It's optional, but very handy. I'm going to fold these inside. If you're using 300 grams paper for this, it's going to be sturdier, but also a bit harder to make. So if you want to make it a bit easier on yourself, I recommend going more towards the 200 to 50 perhaps. Now, before I'm going to close this, I also want to cut out some notches so we can grab the little booklets a little bit better. You can do that when your pocket is glued close, for sure. But then you have very heavy paper, so 2 heavy paper layers on top, and not all circle punches will survive that, or you will ruin them quite fast. So that's up to your choice. The one that I'm using can definitely handle that. That's EK, 1.5 inch punch. Just use what you have. If you only have 1 inch, etc., doesn't matter. This can handle that because it's very, very heavy duty. But for example, I also have this 2-inch one, and it's like, yeah, it can do the job, but for how long? So just to be sure and save your tools, it's best to do these separately, but measure very well, because otherwise they won't always be in the same spot. So I'm measuring here the center now. Oops. And yeah, this is a very handy ruler to have. I didn't know how handy it would be until I actually had it. So I'm going to find my center here. And I have made some markings on there. So there's one in the center and some on the sides. You can do it however you want. So this way I can line up that center dot with my mark here on the paper. And also these lines, yeah, later on I'm gonna add more for sure for other projects. So, and I'm going to line up my paper with these lines. There, and this will ensure me that the one on this side will be equal and not deeper or shallower or something like that. It's just a tip. Don't ever be afraid to put markings on your tools. And now for the one here, what you can do is just draw this out. That's actually the easiest way, like this. And this will line up perfectly as well. As I said, if you have a heavy duty one, you can definitely first assemble this one and then just make the notch in one go. I just wanted to save some of your tools. Okay, and then you can use your glue or your tape. I'm going to use tape here. to put on top of these tabs. This. Make sure it really sticks. And then it's very easy. These are really easy pockets, you know. Just close them. I recommend to dry fit them first to see if your folds are straight, etc., so that everything lines up perfectly. There. First pocket made. I'm gonna make the 3 other pockets exactly the same way. So I have here 4 pockets that are ready, and I'm going to attach them together. And for that I need 3 of these strips that have the same length as these pockets, and they are 1 1/8 of an inch wide. And of course we need 3, so we have 1 connection between each 2 of the pockets. Okay, let's put these aside for a bit. And I'm going to score these at 1/2 inch on each side. So actually at 1/2 inch and 1/8 of an inch further. 1/2 inch, 1/8 of an inch further. Yeah. We need that 1/8 of an inch in between because there will be little booklets in here. And they will require some space. And if I would put them all right against each other, it would stand open like this, you know. So I am going to fold these. Again, I am going to show you with 1. So fold both lines. Then take your scissors and again cut off a corner from the fold. A little bit slanted, you know, here as well. And then from the other fold as well, you see? So don't touch the 1/8 of an inch side in between. Just cut off the corners a little bit from the tabs. And then I'm going to put some tape. You can definitely use glue instead, but you will have to hold your project a little bit longer until it's dry. I am going to use some tape here on both of the tabs right next to the fold. Not on the fold because otherwise things will get sticky, but right next to the fold. I didn't say that here while making the pockets, but that's a thing for all tabs. Just don't put glue on the fold, just right next to the fold. Okay, and then here as well. This. There. Okie dokie. And then I'm going to remove those backings. Okay, and now, and just take one of your pockets and I'm going to glue it right next to that fold again. Not on the fold, but right next to the fold. So I'm going to line up the edges. So it's going to be completely in the center. Oops, yeah, like this. I wasn't down yet. If you're using tape and you're not very sure, put some glue stick on top so you have a little bit of wiggle room left, like this. And then turn around. You're doing the exact same with one of your other pockets on the other side, like this, here. Oh, there's a little floofy thingy sticking out here from the paper. Gonna cut that off. I don't know where that came from. Okay, so, and now we've attached these 2 pages and we have a tiny little spine here. And now I'm going to quickly prepare these other 2 ones because I need them now. So I have my other ones ready and I'm going to remove the backings of the next one. There. And I'm going to lay it down. I usually have my sticky things laid down and put stuff on top of that. Okay, now we have our first base right here. And I'm going to put this one on top here. Make sure that when you fold it in half to glue it on top of the second one, that the first piece is on the inside, because if it's on the outside, yeah, don't do that. Make sure it's on the inside and then just flatten it a little bit so you can really see the edge here. It's okay to flatten it, and then line it up right next to that fold again and stick it down. Again, use glue so you have a bit of wiggle room if you're not sure. I really recommend that. And then turn it around and you can just glue one of your next pockets on top. Here's another floofy thingy. I'm gonna cut that off. There. There. This. And then the last one we're going to attach the same way. Remove the backing, put it there, flatten everything as much as you can so you can really see the outer edge here, and line that one up here. Make sure it's next to the fold, not on the fold. Turn it around and attach the last pocket. There. And now you can really make sure these tabs, these hinges are stuck. And now you actually have a little bit of a booklet. Oh, let's get rid of that pencil mark, because that's gonna show. There. And the next thing I'm going to do is these final two pieces of cardstock, attach one to the front and one to the back. And these are going to attach to the actual cover. We don't have to cut an extra special tab for that because we're gonna make one on here. So very, very easy. Put your piece like here and just score at 1/2 inch. Fold, and again take your scissors and cut off the corners a tiny little bit. Put some tape on top. And now remove the tape from one piece, again lay it down, and actually the same as we were doing before, flatten it so you can really see the edge here, and just glue that right next to the edge, next to the fold, I mean, right there. There. I'm gonna turn it around, sure, and then the last one exactly the same for the other side. Turn this one around, make sure the other edge is showing. So we already have one of these here. Now on the back, line up right next to the fold. Make sure everything is straight and glue down. So, and this is the whole inside of your little album pocket journal pocket album with pockets that hold a journal. I have to think about the title. So, and on these two we'll attach to the covers. Let's make these covers first. Okay, so for me, I'm going to make them 3/4 inch by 5/3 inch. And actually that's just 1/4 inch higher and wider than this is. Okay, and now I'm going to wrap these covers. And from the papers from our kit, I chose these two pieces, and actually they are just 1/2 inch larger on each side, so in total 1 inch higher and wider than the actual base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the edges of the chipboard. Now you don't have to do that, you could just put some wet glue all over as well. I just really like my edges to be down very well. That's why I choose to usually use some double-sided tape on the edges. But that's just a personal choice. You can just simply use some wet glue. Okay, I'm gonna show you one piece and then the other I'm going to make later exactly the same. So, making sure that this is down, I'm going to remove the backings. And then I'm going to put some wet glue in the center as well, just all over. You can use tacky glue. I'm using art glitter glue right now. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the tape as well, just that I have a little bit of extra wiggle room if things might go wrong, you never know. Okay, turning this around, and then I'm just going to place it in the center as straight as possible so that your image is not going to be crooked. There, that's it. I'm gonna hold it, make sure it's going to dry. Like this. Then I'm just going to fold the edges against the chipboard like this. And I'm gonna take my scissors and now I'm going to cut from the side to the corner. But I am not going to touch that corner. I'm gonna leave like 1 millimeter from it, so that that corner will be covered as well. You can leave 2 millimeters if you like. And then I'm gonna turn a little bit and cut to the other side. I'm gonna do that on all 4 sides. So towards the corner, but not touching the corner, and to the other side. You can use a miter tool if you like. There. Yeah, and because I'm using wet glue, it's warping a little bit, but if I put a book on it in a minute, it's going to just dry flat. Now I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the other side of the tabs, as close to the chipboard as possible. Whatever's left you can leave if you like, you can cut it off, it really doesn't matter. There. Removing the backings. I'm gonna start with the side ones. It doesn't matter which ones you start, but it's always prettier to start or with the top ones or with the side ones, but not that one, that one, that one, that one. It's a really tiny detail, I know, but that's just how I like it. Okay, and then make sure this really touches the chipboard, that there are no air gaps, and then bend over. Really pull and use your bone folder to make sure it sticks. Then the other side, the same way. You can always rub the sides as well. The top and the bottom one as well. And then, when you're in the top and bottom one, or the other ones, that is, just make sure the excess cardstock is very flattened here. Same here. It's not a lot because I only have 1 millimeter, but you don't want it to bulk up, so flatten it out like this. And now I'm quickly going to put a book on it so it can dry really flat. There. How to cheat in Photoshop. And I'm going to make the second cover exactly the same way. Okay, and now let's start decorating this piece. I'm going to put a panel on the front and the back of each of these pockets. So that's 8 in total. And I make them 1/4 of an inch less high and wide than the pockets are. So they will completely fit on here with an 1/8 of an inch 3mm border all around. And of course you already see I cut out these notches, so I need a notch there as well. Now, something about these circle notches. I made a circle notch with a 1.5 inch circle, and now for these ones it's best to use a larger circle for that. Or find something round in your house, like a jar lid or anything that's larger than the one you have now. Because let me show you what it gives when I make it the same size. So I'm going to find the center here again. That's here. And I'm going to cut out the exact same piece of the circle here. In the center, lined up with the edge, like this. If I now line this up, you see there's something wrong with these corners. Now, you can leave it like this. It's not a disaster, it works, no problem. But it would be better if the circle would be larger. Now, I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch here. I'm just going to line it up with the top now. And you see, I will cut off some of the edges. Do you see that? There, because the circle is larger. And now you will see this one will fit a lot better, you see? Okay, now how to apply this first? That's a choice. I'm going to put some black ink on the edges, so it blends in smoothly with the black background. And then I'm just going to use some glue stick to apply this. I'm gonna start in the back, yeah. Start right here. Okay, so I'm just going to use some glue stick. You can use wet glue, you can use double-sided tape on the edges, whatever you like. It's just when you have wet glue, like I'm doing with the covers, it's sturdier in the end, but it will need some drying time and it could warp a little bit. Like this, and now I'm just going to position this in place. And I'm going to do that with all of the 8 faces. Now, of course, if you have one where the circle is on this side, of course, make the opening on that side. Okay. There. I attached a panel on each front and back of these pockets. You can put one here and here as well. I'm not going to do that. You will see in the end if it's necessary or not. And now it is almost time to put that in here, but first I'm going to attach some ribbons. I'm going to choose which one I want for the back cover and which one for the front. I think I want this one for the front and this one for the back. Okay, so that means if this is the front, that I want my ribbon to come out on this side. Yeah, and this one for the back, that will come out on this side. There, make sure it's not upside down. Yeah, I need the arrows. Otherwise, I could be wrong. Okay, and now I'm just going to put a mark in the center. I think that's here. If my inch calculations are correct, yes. And one here as well. And I have these wide ribbons, so I'm going to attach 2 pieces of double-sided tape here. One right above my mark and one right under, and that will be perfect. Take care. The outer 1/8 of an inch will be visible, so don't put any tape or glue there because it will be very sticky. So I'm going to stop my tape like an 1/8 of an inch or a little bit more before that edge. I'm gonna add a second piece there, here as well. Like this. Gonna remove the backings. Oh yeah, these are about 12 inch. So yeah, I'm gonna use like 1.5 inch on the inside to make sure it sticks. Doesn't really matter. You can choose how long you might make them. You can choose which ribbons. You can choose how wide you put them in. Like this. Okay, and now I'm going to put some double-sided tape and glue on the outside of these so I can glue these in the center in here. And it works perfectly. Okay, so first you can use glue all over, of course. I'm just going to use my double-sided tape on the edge again. This side as well. Try not to really squish everything that's going on under here, because you put so much work in it, so be careful. Okay. And then careful. Yeah, you can do it like this, of course. Make sure there's nothing underneath. Make sure it'll stick. Same on the other side. And I'm gonna start with the front. Take a lot of care that everything is facing the right side up. That you didn't do all that work and then suddenly put the cover on backwards or anything. Really double check, triple check if necessary. Okay, I'm going to remove this backing. Add some more glue in the center. I'm also going to put some glue on the tape here. You can use the wet glue if you like. There. And then making sure everything is straight, making sure my cover is straight, flipping it over, and then make sure I have like 1/8 of an inch in between. Everything is straight, 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 straight. And then I'm very happy. And now I'm going to do exactly the same with the back cover. That's straight, and then just make sure I'm putting this in the center. I have 1/8 of an inch, 3 millimeter all around. There. And you have an amazing, easy to make booklet with 4 pockets in there. You close it with your ribbon like this. But of course, we need to put something in these pockets. And that's what I'm going to show you right now, how to make the small little journals. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, I have these small journal pages printed out back to back. You can use other papers, you can just use plain papers. I printed these on 80 grams paper, which is normal paper, and these on 160 grams paper with a back design like this, so these can be like the covers. And I'm going to just cut everything out. I'm going to cut these out on the smallest printed side. So yeah, this is the side that is printed at 100%, and this is the side that has been printed at, I think I chose 101.5%. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut these out on the smallest side, and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay, I cut out all these mini journal pages, and I have here 4 sturdier ones that can act as a cover. And now I'm just going to make some signatures, which means I'm just going to make piles and fold them in half. I'm just gonna random do it. You can definitely choose an order if you like. Okay, and now I'm just going to fold this in half as straight as I can. As straight as I can, she said again. Yeah, you can use your scoreboard and score each leaf, but it should be doable like this. Okay. Okay, I have my 4 little booklets here. And you can just use them like this. They will fit into the pockets perfectly. But I'm just going to add a little staple. You can also put these under your sewing machine, use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. But yeah, I'm using it a lot lately, but it's so easy. I'm just going to put a staple in the center. So I have my staples here. You don't need a special stapler. I'm gonna do this by hand. I'm going to measure the center here. Oh yeah, and my staple is 1/2 inch. So center is here, so I have to put my holes, my first hole here and here. Yeah. Simply going to punch the holes where the staple will go. You can measure according to your staples or not use staples. Gonna get one off. Just push it in and flatten these prongs with something that's not your finger, because otherwise you might hurt yourself. And then fold the sheets to one side and fold them to the other side like this. And you have a little booklet with beautiful images already on them and lots of space to add your own text and your own art if you like. And I'm quickly going to finish these other 3 with a staple. Oh yeah, to be sure that your sheets are not going to move, you can always use some clips to keep them in place. I found these blue staples at my local stationery store, which is amazing. I threw the packaging away, so I'm sorry, I don't know which brand it is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 very pretty little booklets. Look at that. How amazing does these look? And we have here this beautiful little cover, and I can just stick them in like this. There's room enough. And here as well. There. And just close with your ribbon. And you have a packed little album with 4 pockets and 4 mini journals or mini notebooks, or for your grocery lists, or to write memories in as a gift for your friends. Or put some photos in from Halloween from years ago and give it as a gift for your friend, etc, etc, etc. You have so many possibilities with this, and I swear this is not very hard to make. Any determined beginner can do it. And the only thing is just measure as good as you can, and then everything will be okay. Okay, I really hope you liked this tutorial. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up. If you want a PDF with all the measurements or how to adjust them to your size, just opt in via the link in the description. Share this video with friends that you think might like this tutorial as well. And for the rest, I wish you a very beautiful crafty day. Bye bye.